David Jaffe sets Twitter on fire after calling Zelda Tears of the Kingdom bland and old looking. It is bland and old looking. I also make it clear I really, really like it. But boy, you can't have any kind of nuanced thought. I put this picture up. If you're looking at your screen, I tweeted this the other day. And boy, it got people, a lot of people agreed. 8,000 likes, but it says, I don't give a fuck about production value and visuals. Clearly. You know that. Anybody who comes here knows that. A great game is a great game. I'm just starting, and so far, so good. I'm not shitting on this game. I said, but given how much everybody goes ape shit over visuals, not me. You guys know, anybody who follows me knows I don't give a I like nice visuals if you can get them, but not at the expense of great gameplay. If this game looked like it was toe ball #1, I would still be loving it because it is really fucking interesting and cool and different and fun. I said, but given how much everybody goes apeshit over visuals, it's staggering how this game can look like this and not get at least a little ding by reviews. And it is. I'm not saying there aren't parts of the game that are attractive. There are. I mean, they look like, last gen graphics, but that's fine. I'm not mocking it. But this literally looks like shit. The game is not shit. And other parts of the game don't look this bad. But the fact that you've got these little, I'm sure this is real geometry, but these look like little flat card stamps. Looks like the exact same fucking tree reused over and over. There is absolutely no visual connective tissue between the water and the land. So it just kind of looks like there's no attention to detail, even at this level of detail. And then, good God, the water is just so fucking tiled that it looks like I'm playing, 1943, an old Capcom top-down shooter. So the fact that that can't be brought up without people thinking I'm hating on the game, I just find that it's just, you know what? It's the same issue I have with politics these days. People would rather be tribal with their fucking team than they would having an honest discussion. I love this game. It's doing some amazingly creative shit, but it also, whether it's the hardware or not, there are parts of the game that look down and out fucking ugly. This looks like a game made in the era between N64 and GameCube. That's what this fucking looks like. Not the game in general, but parts of the game, and it just does. You can't defend it. And people are like, yes, but you have to understand for this. No, I don't have to understand. Fuck you. I'm telling you, it's a great game. I don't care why. If people are like, it's a last generation game, then don't fucking charge me $70 for it. Or do. And I'll be happy to pay it, which I did. And I'm glad I paid it. I don't regret it. But what comes with that is the ability to look at this shit and say it looks like shit. And there are better looking open world games on the Switch. I believe, isn't the fucking Ubisoft Phoenix Rising on the Switch? It sucks we can't have detailed discourse about a subject anymore, says Radical. Folks react harshly to one point without the full context behind it. Yeah, I'm not complaining. It's a great game, but this looks like shit. I mean, who can defend this? No one. I get it, though. They've got their self-esteem wrapped up in a fucking video game. I get it, and I feel for them. I mean, that's got to be rough. That's got to be rough. Phoenix Rising is on Switch. Does it run like shit, though? Maybe that's how they get away with it? And again, I don't even mind that it looks bad. But the fact that it looks the way it looks and it's getting 10 out of 10s and they're not, I mean, maybe I haven't read all the reviews. Maybe there are a lot of reviews that are giving it great reviews, but still saying, yeah, but it's a really fucking ugly game. Okay, then maybe I just didn't read the reviews that say that still gave it great fucking scores. I don't fucking know. I'm annoyed by this. So I'm playing it this weekend a bunch. I'm streaming it this weekend a bunch. And I'm complaining about the controls, okay? And not the way the character moves, but just the fucking oversaturation of mechanics that are all tied to a very limited number of buttons. And it is a very difficult game to retrain muscle memory on, given it is so unique and there's so much to do. And so I had people yell at me. Well, I first had people on our stream just say, hey, Jaffe, get the Pro Controller. It's not going to change the number of buttons, but the buttons and the layout make what you're complaining about at least a little more tolerable. And I'm like, all right, that sucks that I need to do that because the game came with a controller. And if that controller is not acceptable, then that's a fucking problem. Then I got this guy who's been part of the chat on and off, Bread or Decide. He's a guy who calls himself Bread or Decide on YouTube. He says, dude is well off, meaning me, and still bitching about the Switch Pro controller. Jesus. It doesn't matter if I'm the richest motherfucker in the universe or I'm as poor as dirt. The fact that you are defending a company for shipping with a substandard controller and saying that the onus is on the consumer to buy a controller that's actually acceptable for the fucking $400 piece of hardware they sold. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy a Pro controller. I will, because the game is that good. But don't put that shit on me. And Bread or Decide is not the only one. It's like people have just, gamers, I've said this before on a lot of things. This is one of them about the similar thing. Gamers are some of the most fucking bend over and take it fan base. As passionate as they are, they will take it all goddamn day long. Sports, I mean, look at sports fans. Sports fans, when their team is losing and losing at a relatively, frequent clip, as much as you may love your team, you're still like, fire that motherfucking coach or get rid of that fucking quarterback. He's a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. Boy, these fans, they'll be more than happy for the onus to fall upon them, that it's their fault that they hadn't gone out and spent more money to buy something that Nintendo didn't ship with the goddamn fucking product. Come on now. Insane. And I agree. Azul says, every time I have to run into a fight in Tears of the Kingdom, I start pressing all the wrong buttons. Try making a fucking machine for 20 minutes and throwing it off a fucking cliff. I literally made the coolest fucking boat in the world. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to carry it down to the... No, I'm not, because it just went off the goddamn mountain. So, and you could say, well, you could rewind time, but I don't think you can rewind time unless you can see what you're affecting. It had already fallen out of my worldview. Radical says, the main issue I have with Nintendo designing Joy-Cons is it's not ergonomically good. No, they're terrible. It drifts and fails often. It's planned obsolescence. Why didn't they just include the Pro? I'm sure it was money and they didn't need to. But the reason they didn't need to is because Nintendo fans, they knew most people would just accept it. And I'm like, what? That's acceptable to you? Clearly, Bread or Decide seems to be okay with it because he says, I'm the problem. I'm the problem.